Snake?
Good dog.
Roger. This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
I just received word from the R&D team and the transport team out of Afghanistan.
Gaining altitude.
I just received word from the R&D team and the transport team out of Afghanistan. They finished installing Sahelanthropus on the base. It's ours now.
All right. Don't let any of the staff touch that thing. Especially Emmerich.
Of course. That guy's crush on Sahelanthropus is beyond a joke. Guess he really wants to see his tech stand on its own two legs this time.
That's not gonna happen.
I know it. So you've got no plans to make it operational again?
Damn right.
Boss, I want to hear it straight from you.
Hear what?
What the hell do you want with that thing? The drive is busted. It's not like it has a nuke on board. Even if the metallic archaea could turn it into a nuclear weapon, all it can do is self-destruct. Sahelanthropus just isn't a weapon anymore. It'll draw unwanted attention without even being a deterrent.
I know.
The weapon's development strut sank 2 feet under that thing's weight. That's 1 year's drop in a single night. We've started on reinforcing the strut, but there's no guarantee it'll hold up if a storm hits.
I know that too.
Boss, why keep it?
It's a mark. Us Diamond Dogs, we don't have a country to call home. That means we have no past, nothing to prove that we lived. Every one of us threw it all away when we came here. Sahelanthropus is a symbol to show that the likes of us brought at least one crisis to its end.
A mark in history. So we can't just fade away.
It's of no practical use to us. But we still need it.
A symbol of what we've done. I'm glad I sounded you out on this. Snake, on behalf of all of us, I want to thank you.
I don't need gratitude. I need security. Keep Emmerich away from that thing.
Roger that.
and extract the missing CIA agent. The target was laying low with the friendly Mujahideen during the vocal cord parasites incident. The Mav headed back to OKB-0 after the Soviets recaptured it. Check the target's VI on your iDroid.
You said that the nuke Skullface was trying to spread around the world were equipped with a failsafe.
Be careful down there, boss.
Something that could shut them down at will. His will.
Quite so. After all, he needed a guarantee that a buyer wouldn't simply turn the weapons back on him.
So how can they be stopped?
The criticality trigger, that is, the detonator, is a complete black box design. Any attempt to dismantle it causes it to melt in seconds, using the corroding archaea. The design ensures that no detonation is possible unless he disengages the lock.
So he had a way to disengage it remotely.
Precisely. The client simply presses a button. At that moment, the detonator begins transmission with a surveillance satellite. The satellite reports to him how the client is trying to use the nuke. If he does not object, the lock is disengaged.
But if it's a risk to him in any way...
The detonator melts down. The same is true if detonation does not occur within a preset time after the lock is disengaged. The nuke is rendered useless.
Who the hell would buy something with strings attached like that?
The client would never know until the moment they actually try to use it. Most likely, he would have explained the time delay as the detonators needing time to activate. And he only intended to sell to technologically primitive groups in the first place.
Let me guess. He'd claim it was defective and offer a replacement. Shadier than a used car salesman.
Skullface shakes your hand like a friend, using the other to control you like a puppet. This is how he works.
Code Talker. Haven't seen you eat a single thing since you got here. Let me guess. Photosynthesis?
Oh? What makes you say that?
Well, a long time ago, I knew someone with a similar ability.
Well, you are correct. Most of my body is covered with parasites. I supply them with water, and in return, I receive sugars they produce when exposed to light.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't just my skin either. The parasites also act as my eyes. They have replaced many of my internal organs as well. It is thanks to them that I live on after over a century.
How did you obtain them anyway? Through your research?
I would like to say as much, but there is more to it than that. Let me take you back 20 years. I had hit a dead end with my parasite research. Then I was approached by a foundation. They said they had a sample of an unusual strain of parasite.
Which foundation?
Apparently, they had links to ARPA. But that is all I learned. I was somewhat ignorant of the ways of the world. Just being able to study it was enough for me.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Go on.
Half in doubt, I visited them to discover the body of an old man. Well, to be precise, his partial remains. A collection of parts, you could say. The man had died in an explosion.
An old man, you say?
His flesh had not decomposed. In fact, The tissue's cells were still metabolizing. The parasite had infected, or should I say assimilated with, the tissues and was keeping them alive. I became obsessed with studying the body parts, foregoing food and even sleep. Every day was filled with new discoveries. The parasite's biology, internal anatomy, life cycle. But there was only so much I could learn through observation. And so I made a decision. To truly know the parasites, I had to live with them.
So, you implanted them inside you from the dead man's flesh?
Correct. It was quite a gamble, whether or not they would adapt to me. But fortunately, it appears I was compatible with them. Or perhaps, through my many years of research, my immune system learned to tolerate them.
Were they that body's only parasite?
Yes. However, there was a separate specimen that supplied its host with adrenaline in response to pain, and yet another that could control insects at will through secreting heterogeneous pheromones. I wanted exposure to them, to take them into me, but my wishes were denied. Their records, though, provided clues that helped advance my research. Would you care to join me? A life spent never worrying about food is a most wonderful one.
I think I'll pass.
You gotta extract him.
Thanks. This has been helpful.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. He's coming too. Roger that. You gotta extract him.
Skullface has finally burned out. The world is rid of his existence at last.
Was he still alive?
You could say that. But you could also say he'd been dead for decades.
What's that supposed to mean?
Biologically speaking, it's hard to say how much was his life.
Side effects from the treatment?
No, the primary effect. Keeping a dying host alive as long as possible. That is the whole point. But in the end, he grew too dependent on his children. As if he had any other way to keep on living. He first underwent parasite therapy before the Soviet Union became his home. His body was horribly burned. Fire washed across his thin young frame and stole his skin and his throat, even his lungs. Only through repeated therapies could the parasites keep him alive. Most of his life became something the parasites gave to him.
And then he lost the ability to die.
That is correct. The parasites live on past the host's death, still aiding cell composition. At that stage, there is no way to extract them from the host cells. There is no way of knowing when the last cell of Skullface's body would die. The only choice was to burn the whole thing. And his children, along with it. And I am one to talk. When my life is...
He's coming too. Roger that. We know where to find the target. Check your iDroid.
And when I burn, I will truly be one with my children for the first time. You say there were 3 English vocal parasites.
According to Skullface, yeah.
Skullface had 2 of the English strain with him.
That's the Looks like we found him.
There was an oil fire. I tossed him in.
So that just leaves one. And you tell me Skullface said he used it.
He said it was very close to me.
Very close. One of your comrades. Or someone ordered to kill you. Or he could have been speaking metaphorically.
Metaphorically?
Close to your spirit. Close to your heart. Someone who either loves you or despises you.
The second one makes a long list.
Whichever it is, act with caution. Skullface implanted someone with the English language strain. Who it is irrelevant.
Why?
I tell you what Skullface really meant. Very close to you means you will be exposed. All the infected here have been given. Even if the vocal cord parasites infect them now, they cannot produce. But if there's a different host among us, host to the English strain,
If that were the case, we'd see the symptoms.
what about the non-English speakers?
Plenty of those, but the staff use English as a common language.
But if that someone has not spoken English yet, and begins to speak it now,
There'd be another outbreak.
the final mating pair of the English strain must be found immediately. Skullface is gone, but his threat still remains. On this base, do you see what the final mating pair is? With him dead,
That takes care of the squad searching for the target. Now you just need to extract him.
his thirst for vengeance in the flesh. Think. Does anyone here bear a
You
grudge?
gotta extract him.
Who would target you specifically?
The ethnic cleansers that Code Talker mentioned.
Target extracted. Exfiltrate the hot zone, boss.
All we have is circumstantial evidence, but here's my theory. It was
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
parasites as bioweapons, parasitic weapons, and Africa was the testing ground for them. As Code Talker said, their purpose is the ethnic cleansing of only those who speak a particular language. So they could do a weapon of mass destruction to eradicate specific groups, races, ethnicities, or colonies by the language they speak. Or a kind of absolute language control. Or maybe a tool for those arrogant fools to build some misguided utopia. I can see plenty of uses for them. However, in practical terms, they wouldn't be as dangerous as you think. Counteracting the parasites is easy, after all. Cut them out of your throat to save your life, or just don't talk. That also prevents the infection from spreading. So if the international community were to find out about them, they'd no longer be the threat they were conceived to be. In which case, their targets would be limited to minority groups as a deterrent or a terrorist tool. It's hard to imagine Cypher developing something like that as a main weapon for their arsenal. That leads me to think we've only tugged on one little thread in Cypher's grand tapestry. An obscure corner of their work, possibly forgotten altogether. In any case, things changed. When Skullface was forced to relocate to Africa and he saw that thread dangling. All the time he continued that.
All right, you're out of the hot zone. No enemy forces in pursuit. Mission complete.
Ethnic liberator parasites. Is England.
Mission complete, and how? They're gonna tell stories about this one, boss. Boss, the target filled us in on what's been going on. He betrayed the Soviets, passing information to Langley, but got scared after learning XOF used the vocal cord parasites. Then came feelings of guilt that his leaks sent comrades to their deaths, and fear that America might deploy such a weapon itself. But in reality, XOF and Langley don't have a collaborative relationship. and Skullface was not working for America. Still, I can't blame the man for being afraid. After laying low with the Mujahideen, he tried to cut his ties with the US and return to the Soviet military. But along the way, someone came after him, and he was forced back into hiding. Could have been remnants of XOF looking to silence him. And you know the rest. He doesn't seem to know much about the parasites, but nevertheless, it'd be too dangerous to hand him over to Langley or the Soviets. We'll keep him here as originally planned. Emmerich's finished development on that battle gear of his. Get back to Mother Base.
Visst, jag var färdig där med det. Battle gear is an armored weapon developed to take on hostile bipedal weapon systems. But unlike the Soviet-funded Walker gear, the battle gear still hasn't been properly field tested. I'd like to assign a combat unit to take it on dispatch missions, so that we can evaluate its capabilities and reliability. Assuming you've got no objections, give the order to dispatch the unit from your iDroid. Boss, we need evidence to prove our suspicions about Emmerich. Head to the central base camp in Afghanistan and recover that AI pod. It's time we purge Diamond Dogs of that traitorous parasite once and for all.
Skullface said there were only 3 samples of the English-language strain parasite, and I think we can believe him. Bringing his ethnic liberator's plan to fruition depended on creating an English version of the vocal cord parasites at all costs. But an English strain would have been useless to Cypher. Worse, it could have destroyed everything they'd built. It was the one type they couldn't allow. That means Skullface was forced to develop his English strain out of sight of Cypher's network. Naturally, he couldn't use the greenhouse facility Cypher had set up and filled with guinea pigs. Skullface must have found some secret place to create his precious few English parasites, hiding all evidence like a man cheating on his wife. Somewhere, an entirely standalone environment. And when his plan entered its final phase, he must have made the place disappear. Some little room, could be anywhere, but now nowhere at all. We'll never know where he did it, but to elude Cypher's surveillance, it couldn't have been big. I believe Skullface was telling the truth. There were only ever 3 samples of the English language strain. Why activate Sahelanthropus in Afghanistan? This is how Skullface wanted things to play out. The Soviet Union secretly develops a new type of nuclear weapon and successfully deploys it in Afghanistan. Revealing the existence of Sahelanthropus results in a return to the glory days of the Cold War. The threat it poses reignites the nuclear arms race between the world's major powers. The demand for nuclear weapons increases around the globe. What if you then introduced a nuclear weapon anyone could get their hands on? Non-nuclear nations, militant groups of all shapes and sizes, they'd all jump at the chance. Sahelanthropus was a marketing tool to sell nukes all around the world. But I think it's safe to say that plan was stamped out before it got up and running. The world's intelligence agencies never did turn up anything conclusive on it. After all, Sahelanthropus vanished before word could spread. Everything that's happened is already a fading memory, never to join the pages of history. Except for Cypher. Cypher won't forget. They'll already be working on something, quietly, beneath the surface. They'll use the pieces of data scraped together from this incident to build their own bipedal weapon. It'll take them a long time to complete it, but for now, the greed sector have found their new life's work. We'll have to be ready too. Hewitt's dug up some interesting facts about our skull-faced friend. 9 years ago, he was exiled to South Africa, stripped of political power. The upshot said he ceased being a serious threat, in Cypher's eyes anyway. They eased up on surveillance, giving him an opening to establish his own military unit, one that answered to his will alone. Those men likely had no idea their orders were coming from Skullface. They probably didn't even know the organization was a part of Cypher at all. Anyway, it was in South Africa where he found renewed interest in parasites. And when he discovered the vocal cord parasites, he began to make his plan. Wipe the English language out of existence. Free the world, not by taking men's lives, but by taking their tongues. In his eyes, the greatest symbiotic parasite the world's ever known isn't microbial. It's linguistic. Words are what keeps civilization, our world, alive.
There was something Skullface said. America is made up of many peoples, but those peoples never mix. Quite so. One nation, home to hundreds of different ethnic groups, many of whom stick to their respective living areas. Little colonies, not interacting with other groups, going out of their way to avoid one another, their land, organizations, relationships. Thus, the United States of America is no melting pot. It is more of a salad bowl. It is not made up from one people. but for its minorities to function in society, a common ground is needed. Language. Even if the country is not one. No, because it's not one, a lingua franca is necessary. English. American hegemonism was born from the illusion that English could unite diverse ethnicities. In taking in people from around the globe, America became a microcosm of it. Now the boundaries between it and the rest of the world have become blurred. However different our neighbors may be, English enables us to create symbiotic relationships with each other. If English can bring unacquainted neighbors together in America, this should hold true for the world. This salad bowl that is the world can also become one.
This is Yellowcake that Cypher was having the PF's transport. Before we met you, the boss recovered it from a truck crossing the savannah. Are there metallic archaea inside it?
Yes, the archaea metabolize uranium-235 to subsist. They must be stored inside Yellowcake, or they cannot survive.
So those biological traces we took for impurities were actually the real cargo.
Of course, they are deactivated, so they do not trigger a sudden enrichment. They are like baker's yeast. Yet, they do gradually enrich the uranium as they feed. I imagine you detected weapons-grade traces.
Yeah, we did.
And the malachite that was loaded on the truck had traces of uranium in it, too. So that's the flower, huh? Skullface was gonna sell do-it-yourself nuke kits. The uranium-enriching archaea complete with a user's manual. And the ores with the uranium could be sourced by the client or provided by Cypher.
Even the trace amounts buried in common ores can be enriched to weapons-grade uranium by the metallic archaea. Proving that must have been the most important factor of the trials. That and the ability to successfully prevent detonation.
So if the amounts of uranium in the ores are low enough, they can get past any inspection. And you only need a tiny amount of the archaea to act as the yeast. No great challenge to smuggle that either. The first step towards saturating the world with nukes.
His plan. That was not my intention. My only goal in developing the metallic archaea was to save the Dene.
What made you think a tool for creating undetectable nuclear weapons would save your people?
After 70 years, the Dene reclaimed the Navajo Nation from which we were banished. We bore all the hardships of poverty. But we were proud to live off the land we called our own. But in the moment the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, everything changed.
I don't get it.
The nuclear arms race between the US and the Soviet Union began with the end of the Second World War. Suddenly, there was a massive demand for uranium. And it was our ill fortune that the ground beneath the Navajo Nation was rich with uranium ore. The Black Ana government set up mine after mine, and many of the Dene worked them, never informed of any danger. Every day, they went to work with no protection. The slag was simply piled out in the open. When rain fell, uranium traces left behind would seep out, and when the ground dried, it was blown about as dust. Land and water were contaminated, irradiated. Many of us became sick and died. That pain lives on to this day.
I had no idea.
Wanting more than anything there is left to me. I was delighted upon discovering microbes that eat uranium. If they could be domesticated, I believed we could rid our land of uranium.
Were you successful?
No. The research called for funding on a colossal scale. But nobody was willing to invest with no prospect of a return.
And that's when Skullface showed up.
Correct.
Okay.
I can save you and your people. We share the same will. That is what he said to me. And I believed him.
Roger.
Anna forced me to abandon my uranium cleanup work and focus on nuclear
Arriving shortly
weapons.
at LZ.
And he held all the Dine hostage. Today, the uranium mines within the reservation are finally closing down.
On station at
It is simply less expensive now to source uranium overseas.
New victims, different places.
But uranium is a tactical resource. To rely on a foreign country for it is a difficult decision to make. And he was in the perfect place to influence that decision.
He could have condemned your people to the mines forever.
The contamination comes not only from uranium. The fallout from the Nevada nuclear tests also settled on our
gaining
lands.
altitude.
As if our fortune were not already bad enough. We are also downwinders. To save the Dine, I must complete my original research.
Boss, we need evidence to prove our suspicions about Emmerich. Head to the central base camp in Afghanistan and recover that AI pod. It's time we purge Diamond Dogs of that traitorous parasite once and for all.
lives on the surface of the Skull's bodies is what gives them their power. Similar to my children, who live in my skin. I modified the parasites I isolated from the body of that old man, differentiating them with various abilities. One that can blend perfectly into its surroundings by exposing the pigments in its cells at will. Another that, by harboring multiple species of metallic archaea, can oxidize and reduce metal. Isolating the one that covers and transplanting it into an artificial medium should provide the same abilities as the Skulls, but they can only subsist within a human body. Once transplanted into the medium, they will eventually die. Another thing, the weakness of the one that covers is desiccation. Their surface moisture loss is greater than ours. The reason they give off mist is to alleviate this by releasing the salts inside them as microparticles. Water vapor condenses around them, appearing as mist. But this dries out the atmosphere until they cannot even produce mist. And once their supply of water from the host runs out, the parasites are in danger. They, along with their host, enter a form of suspended animation. However, a similar effect occurs if they come into contact with a large amount of water. Rain, for instance. The one that covers will temporarily abandon other processes in his eagerness to absorb the water. Pitijolone. Make the weather your ally. I have spoken enough. Your men can take it from here. Will you permit me to rest? Have something to eat?
I thought you don't eat.
I can subsist without food. But there is more to the act of eating than nourishment. We receive nature's blessings and reaffirm our part in it. And in doing so, we express our gratitude.
Sorry, it's, hearing you say you don't need to eat and that you're part of nature in the same breath. Anyway, what can we get you? Not exactly a 5-star restaurant, but the kitchen's used to serving a lot of different appetites.
Hamburgers.
Hamburgers?
Even we, Dine, have become Americanized. I eat them often back home.
And you just can't let them go. Well, as far as symbols of the American Empire go, hamburgers are pretty good. The victory of capitalism. Your people suffered so much at the hands of America. And you ask for hamburgers.
We have suffered more than you can know. But I do not see hamburgers as an accomplice.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Providing a balanced helping of nature's blessings. Meat, grain, and vegetable. How could anyone hate such a magnificent thing?
Says the guy who can survive on photosynthesis. Balance has nothing to do with it. You just like a good burger.
That is also true. Be warned, though. I have very high standards.
Don't worry. I do too. All right, then. One good old-fashioned all-American icon coming up.
I look forward to it.
Finish your mission. Prove your loyalty.
Suicide pod launch confirmed. We'll pick it up. I wonder what kind of secrets are buried in it. I'll let you know if we learn something. Got a report from the intel team. Remember how the man on fire was crushed by Sahelanthropus? Well, the Soviets recovered his body. Could he really be dead? Boss, head for Yaha Obu's supply outpost and secure the man on fire's body. If Skullface was right, and a thirst for revenge can turn a man into a demon and keep the dead alive, then this man on fire who's been coming after us ever since you woke up, well, that just might be what's left of our old friend Volgin. Extract him.
Что происходит?
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. He's coming too. Roger that.
Ты жил на Украине?
Да, когда был еще ребенком. Ну что?
Моего двоюродного брата собираются отправить в одну этап. Он не сказал мне, какой именно, но это где-то в Украине. Он очень талантливый, намного умнее меня. В институте он изучал ядеротехнологии. Если честно, я теперь ему завидую. Я тут каждый день сижу и жду. Когда шманы перережут горло.
Думаешь, у него все сложится? Слышу все этих слухи о тех городах. Утечки, радиации и всякие там.
Это только в городах.
Эй! Ты в порядке?
You gotta extract him.
Speak. Where are your friends? Good. Good. Spit it out. Where are your friends?
You gonna extract him?
There's something I've been wondering. Why are you called Code Talker? During World War II, the U.S. military used the languages of different tribes, including the Navajo, as codes, right? I know the term Code Talker was used to mean people sent to the battlefield to speak in those codes. Were you one of them?
Our mother tongue was indeed used for war. But I did not go. I was already over the conscription age. However, I was made to help craft the codes that were spoken. So in a wider sense, you could call me a code talker for that. Navajo is a complex language, and virtually no one outside the U.S. speaks it. They must have thought it was the perfect language to use as a code.
Yeah, in the end, the Japanese never cracked it. The cipher is king in information warfare.
Of course, they didn't simply speak in Navajo. They created substitutions for words according to a code book, and then translated those into our language. Young Diné was sent to the front lines of the Pacific Theater as code talkers. To fight is an honor for the Diné. They were the pride of our people. But I cannot say this history brings me joy. Words are alive. When they are spoken, life is breathed into them. They become a part of the listener. Our words were transformed into lifeless ciphers.
Roger.
For war. This, after the Black Ana spent generations suppressing the language.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I guess we shouldn't be calling you Code Talker, huh?
No, I do not mind. The reason Skullface called me Code Talker was because I also am responsible for coding language into the vocal cord parasites. I am the same as those young warriors, used for a cipher's sake. I must never forget that. The name, Code Talker, is a lesson carved into my being.
You said Skullface ordered you to weaponize the vocal cord parasites. But you also said he wasn't the reason.
And he wasn't. I was seduced by the parasites. That is a fact.
How? You mean from your curiosity as a scientist?
That I cannot deny. But there is more to it. The story goes back to the 19th century, to my earliest memory. One day, a man from the government visited our Hogan, our home. I cried as he yanked me from my mother's arms and took me away to an Indian boarding school. From that day forward, I became George. This was the name my teacher gave me. I was forced to give up my Diné name, forbidden from speaking anything but English. If we dared utter a word of filthy Navajo, the teacher made us eat a bar of soap.
Yeah, that was the U.S. government's education policy for Native Americans.
To erase our words was like erasing our people.
Careful down there, boss.
A ruler's greatest wealth is not money or land. It is the number of individuals under his control. Subjects who work, consume, are there to be used as pawns in war. For a capitalist ruler, his people's power becomes his power. You are the same. With your diamond dogs, you spin it with your speeches. But what you're doing is bringing as much talent as you can into your little domain. Every person another feather in your cap. Yes. Since ancient times, every civilization's ruler has had the same idea. When people unite under one will, they become stronger than the sum of their parts. And the one will is the ruler's will. And what do rulers use to bring people together? Language. In the Old Testament, it is written that only one language was spoken in Eden. A shared tongue that united all of humanity. Mankind eventually grew aware of its power and harnessed that strength to build a tower to the heavens. The mighty Tower of Babel. This angered God, who splintered the language of man, and the tower was never completed. Languages emerged, and the earth was divided as men went their separate ways. Every age is the same. A ruler's first order of business. Conquering new land is to force his tongue on its people. Ancient Rome, Napoleon, and now Zero. English is wreaking havoc around the world right now. The British Empire tilled the land with war as its hoe, then began planting the seed that is English. Eventually, American capitalism became the new instrument. To play its game of wealth, you only had to abide by one rule: English. By exploiting people's desires, English has become a leash that people gladly wear around their necks.
Spit it out.
Extract him. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. He's coming too. Roger that. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. He's coming too. Roger that.
Speak.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. He's coming too. Roger that. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. Roger that. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
ЛКП, понял. Будьте начеку и найдите противника. Конец связи. КП, Зоя-1. Враг ушел. Начинаю поиск. Прием. ЛКП, понял. Они не могли уйти далеко. Будьте бдительны. Конец связи.
Какого? Spit it out.
We're going to extract him.
Черт! Кто-нибудь снимите меня!
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Good.
Either destroy that, or turn it off to shut off all the lights and surveillance cameras in the outpost. But of course, the enemy will realize something's up. If you're gonna do it, be quick.
I barely recognize you, Colonel. Skullface used your thirst for revenge against Big Boss, did he?
Boss, I've updated the mission list. We've received some new job offers. The details are on your iDroid. Roger.
This is Pequod. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Pequod. On station at LZ.
contract comes from the People's Movement for the Liberation of Angola, also known as the MPLA. The PF at Ditati Abandoned Village has been supplied with walker gears. Your job is to eliminate them all. Destroy them, extract them, whatever you see fit. This just might get us closer to the walker gear supplier, Cypher. Good luck, boss. Targets have been deployed to that outpost. Find and eliminate all of them. Extract him. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
uitgevind wie is verantwoordelik vir die Fulton-ontvoerings?
Nee, maar daar's gerugte dat Big Boss betrokke is. Maar nog geen bewyse nie. Hoofkwartier sê, as ons iets sien wat lyk soos 'n Fulton-ballon, skiet dit.
Skiet die ballon, die ou kan nêrens heen gaan.
Hey, eenvoudig genoeg, hè?
As jy iemand sien wat Fulton word, met blerry goed.
Ja. Ha!
The PF at Ditati Abandoned Village has been supplied with walker gears. Your job is to eliminate them all. Destroy them.
The targets have been deployed to that outpost. Find and eliminate all of them.
Mission failed, boss.
The PF at Ditati Abandoned Village has been supplied with walker gears. Your job is to eliminate them all. Destroy them, extract them, whatever you see.
The targets have been deployed to that outpost. Find and eliminate all of them.
Julian, je moet de weg door het te checken. Stuur instructie. Word.
De CFD, begrijp. Bescherm securiteit en wees wakker. Uit!
Spit it out.
CFD, de Zulu 7. Iets je moet de weg door te checken. Stuur bevel. Word.
De CFD, begrijp. Bescherm securiteit en wees wakker. Uit!
He's coming too. Roger that.
Delta 4, wat voor? Kom in, Delta 4. Wat is de situatie? Alle eenheden, staan bij.
Subject is in. You gotta extract him.
Ich habe einmal gesehen, wer das alles von neu.
Panzer geklaut.
What?
CFD, de Zulu 4. Ontvoerder van bewoner werden op het gereed. Word.
De CFD, begrijp. Moet niet verslapt niet. Er gaat steeds in de gebied. Uit!
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Alter, wie viele laufen da hinten rum, ey?
He's coming too. Roger that.
Ohne Schalldämpfer.
Das ist so schwer, gell? So einer, die sieht alles von neu, so. Fast verloren.
Nimm den Roboter mit.
Speak.
Hast du das ja schon mal gemacht?
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Ah, nimm doch einfach das Diamant da hoch, ey.
Typ Polizei kommt gerade wegen dem Loot. KSK 9 klopft gleich.
Echt so, Alter.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Die hier muss ich rausholen, ja?
Flawless work. You never...
Ein Ballerbissle.
That's the way.
Ablenkung weich.
Naja, Ablenkung auch noch. Auch alle von diesen scheiß Walkern. Dann habe ich es geschafft. Ja, Militär Umhau, alle hören das. Alter, ich hab grad so Angst bekommen. Das ist scheiß Puppe, Alter.
4 Stück.
Da schläft kurz. Drei und 4. Geschafft.
Flawless work. You never cease to amaze. Great. No targets remaining. Your objective's complete. Exfiltrate out of the hot zone by chopper or on land.
Jetzt erwischt wird. Renn, Moro, renn! Ich war nachladen, weißt du? Ah, diese Pfirsichbraucht, afrikanische Pfirsich. Wann ist es zu Ende?
All right, you're out of the hot zone. No enemy forces in pursuit. Mission complete.
Endlich, Alter. Diese Mission gibt 500.000. Alles war aus, gell? Dieses Ding war aus, dass man Zeitlupe hat. Einmal gesehen, ist für europäisch extrem.
Is why you're the best, boss. The one and only.
Guck. Super, hey.
Boss, we were right. Once you'd eliminated those walker gears, a resupply call was made from Ditati to CFA headquarters. The CFA then contacted none other than Saner. That's right, the shell company that owned Mfinda Oilfield. So Saner was just a front for Cypher. The resupply won't be happening just yet. But we did learn that the walker gears are transported out of Nova Braga Airport.
Ja, das ist ganz wichtig, Schatz. Das Militärunternehmen miteinander verbinden, weißt du? Dann kommt dieses Netzwerk und so. Wenn Cypher, dann Walker Gears und alles. Austausch auch. Von der. Reicht doch jetzt, Alter. Cypher. Legendäre Soldaten, Alter. Bam, Alter. Da hab ich rausgeholt, den Penner. Rumblebat, Alter. Rumblebat. Guck. Botaniker. Der macht Garten, weißt du, bisschen. Deswegen hat der A+++ alles. Der hilft ihm dabei. Der kann nur diese komische Sprache. Der hat mal jemanden gerettet. Ja. Der hat mal was transportiert. Und der hat mal Dingmesser gemacht. Der kann klettern. Der hat mal richtig schnell nachgeladen, deswegen ist er so krass. Ja, das ist es. Das ist halt das Team, was man auch braucht. Ich hab wieder Kohle, ich hatte 1000 GPM oder so, 1000, 1000 so. Kann Strom nicht bezahlen, warum bin ich immer noch hier?
About that AI pod you retrieved from Emmerich's research facility. Guess what we found inside? A corpse. Human. The pod maintained a low internal temperature the whole time, and very little outside air got in. That would have slowed down decomposition. Still, the remains were mostly skeletal. Estimated time of death is between 6 months and a year ago. We put the screws to Huey about it. Listen to the tape. Turns out it was the body of someone we knew very well.
Das ist der Körper von The Boss, oder was? Nein, nicht das. Der brennende Mann auch nicht. Wo ist Huey, Allah? Da.
Fine. Yes, Strangelove was doing AI research in that lab. Why hide that until now? Okay, so what? I wasn't working alone. You've got to understand. You do understand, right? I didn't want to drag her into this. It's my load to bear, alone.
So you didn't create the AI intended to drive Sahelanthropus. It was Strangelove.
Skullface was never in favor of AI control. So naturally they argued. Strangelove, she got him angry and he killed her.
How? You didn't see it? So you found her inside that pod after the fact. And you just left her body to rot in there. Or perhaps you put her in there afterward.
I asked him not to take her away from me.
So she was killed by Skullface, but you asked nicely, and he put her body in the AI pod for you.
That's right.
Pathetic. You know, we have another idea. That you killed her.
Me? I couldn't kill her.
You killed her and locked her body in the pod.
I wouldn't. Don't treat me like one of you. I can't just kill anyone whenever I feel like it. I'm a normal human being.
Oh, I see. So you just shut her inside and waited for her to die.
I would never do that.
What, you mean she killed herself?
Yes. She climbed inside that pod and shut the door. It can't be opened from the outside. It was suicide. Suicide, I said. She killed herself. She got in when I wasn't looking and suffocated. She'd often try to do things like that. By the time I realized and opened the door, she wasn't breathing. I got scared and shut the pod again. I couldn't bring myself to open it back up. That's right. Me? Kill her? What is wrong with you?
I see. Just tell me one more thing.
Haven't you gotten enough today?
Okay, I see it's a painful memory. You don't have to answer, just listen to the question. You see, we examined her remains. She had a scar on her lower abdomen, a surgical scar. It had been stitched up and had fully healed, meaning it was long before her death. She had a child, didn't she? Your child. Where's the kid?
How should I know?
So there is a child.
I've never seen his face.
What do you take us for?
They took it all. Even my child.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Even though he's been born, I lost everything.
How old would he be?
It's 4 years since then.
And you know it's a boy.
Strangelove said so.
And his name?
That's the target.
Hal. Even though I never saw his face.
Wie kann man so oft lügen?
Der lügt immer.
In einem Gespräch.
Alter Verwalter. Warum guckt er auch mal her? Also ich habe den Boss gefunden, glaube ich.
Es ist Cuisson.
Ja, das ist Hal Emmerich.
Myths Plus.
Nein, nein, das da hinten ist Big Boss selber, Alter. Tschüss, Laden. Guck mal das an, Alter. Tschüss. Komm doch mal ein bisschen näher, gell? Wie viel den Baum wird der Untergang sein? Auf einmal kommt hinter dem Mauer rauf und sein Leben oder Bam. Ja, er sieht es.
You gonna extract him?
Hallo, guten Tag. Schlaf endlich. Aber ich bin ein bisschen weiter weg. Und sonst hören das alle. So, jetzt geh ich mal hinterher. Auch noch, man kann den nicht abschießen, die haben ihre Dinge an. Weltraumanzug aneinander. Alles ist geschützt. Genau, noch weg. Mann, steh auf!
Subject on board.
So behindert, Alter. Oh, Zuckerlo. Ah ja, ja, doch so alles aber. Greif ihn doch an. Was hat der Hund?
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Komm zu dir lang. Da ist er auch noch. Was gibt's hier Schönes? Aha. Rohdiamant, noch ein Rohdiamant. Wenn die Sammler gehört haben. Ich bin dann noch das Rohdiamant. Okay. Brauchen das was? Mal nachher die Lichter aus. Dann sieht uns jeder. Wir müssen hier hinfahren. Mal. So, was ist das? Oh, ist die Matterbus-Soldaten raus. Machen wir jetzt. Fahr. Der Hund muss hinterherlaufen. Als Training, weißt du? Wenn er gerade nicht gebissen hat. Ich hab 8-mal gesagt, greif den an, der schafft es nicht. Fankassette, was man hören kann auf dem Weg dahin. Doch, Alter, 7 Stück.
You mentioned that the man on fire was crushed under Sahelanthropus in its hangar.
Yeah.
Rasch gewusst, wenn du Ballon an LKW machst und obendrauf gehst, bist direkt im Helikopter.
We searched the area the moment we
Echt? Ja, man, ich hab an das nie gedacht. Aber klingt irgendwie logisch.
I know. I trust you on that. That means someone must have taken the body. When I got there, everything was still as it
Ja,
was.
das macht sterben, alles davon man machen muss.
Hadn't been touched. I can't see a reason to sneak into a place like that and drag out the biggest, heaviest guy there.
What are you getting at?
Only option left is he got up
Naja,
and
vielleicht
walked
gibt's
away.
ein paar Bäume oben, gell?
That platform ran him over.
Just ran him over.
You're saying that's not enough?
I don't want to believe it, but maybe not. He shrugs off bullets, even rocket strikes. There's no reason to think that would finish him. It seems ridiculous, but I'll start gathering eyewitness accounts just in case.
If you dig up anything concrete, I want to know.
You'll be the first, if I dig anything up. But I hope to hell I don't.
No kidding.
Warte mal, kommen wir da hin? Da muss aber reinfahren. Dann ist safe ein Dorf, gell? Ja, das ist cool. Ja, Qualität. Mal Auto hier stehen und dann gucken wir mal. Ach, sick it. Wieder so einer, Alter. Der ist krass, der ist krass. Dann. Der ist so krass, dass alle am Ausweichen. Ach, sick, der macht halt ein paar Sage hier. Jetzt habt ihr auch keine Helme an, Jungs. Wenn ihr keine Helme habt, müsst ihr euch nicht wundern, weißt du?
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Da rausheben den Penner, ey.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Spit it out. Get him! What?
You gonna extract him?
Okay.
Das ist super gemacht, hast du das, ey. Ja, Mann.
Speak. Speak. Where are your friends?
Scheiß Trane mit den Armen.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Die Mission fängt erst jetzt an, so. Der Hund riecht irgendwas. Oh. Ja genau, das ist ein bisschen gesund. Guck, da ist ein Spast einfach. Passt das aber.
Off base during the attack 9 years ago. Bring him home, boss.
Das hat der Stealth-Anzug an da. Ist das ein Kopf oder Arsch? Ich check's nicht. Das ist ein Ziege, Digga. Wo macht der jetzt hin? Da ist er. Auch ein wegducken auch noch. Er trifft nicht. Ist dein Ernst? Wie kann man so schnell sein? Hier. Der Hund riecht den auch nicht mehr. Im Sommer taucht er auch nicht auf. Da war doch hier irgendwo.
DD. Attack.
Wo ist der lang? Was ist denn, wenn wir das hier anmachen? Den hier da. Boah, thermal ist es da. Dann würde ich ihn auf jeden Fall sehen. Also. Ich werde Ding machen, weil ich das hier machen. Krass. Ja, 10.000 Dollar. So, jetzt warte ich mal kurz. Der Arm ist golden. Ja, wo sind die Sachen, die man... Aha. Endlich haben wir. Aber ist der nicht mal krass? Das ist der Waffenflug. Steig ein. Oh, wie cool du da sitzt, um die rückwärts fahren. Ah, 6 Meter vom LKW. Oh, schießen, aussteigen. Hör auf zu fetzen alles. Oh, der fetzen.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. You gotta extract him.
Esels, Alter. Was noch rauszukriegen? Halt's Maul. Das ist dran. Ey, den Ball runtergeholt haben wir noch. Ja, der war nicht da. Das ist einfach raus. Okay.
Roger that.
Was tut eigentlich nur hier auf? Das ist nichts anderes.
Stay. Spit it out. DD.
Natürlich sagen.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Ik wil niet, prik niet.
Spit it out.
distract him.
¿Qué pasó, Lola? Lo hay que poner.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
War schon so oft. Da hinten.
That's the target.
Alter, du Geschosse mitgenommen. Alter. Was ist das? Diplomat. Naja, scheiße. Ja, Mann.
Coming too. Roger that.
Ich gerne miteinander.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Legendären Schakalfang. Fahren wir da mal kurz hin, oder? Dann steig endlich ein. Aber kurz Strecklager, na kurz.
If you set up a capture cage, it'll trap small to medium-sized animals. The support unit will handle the extraction, so all you need to do is place the cage. Wild animals have all kinds of habitats. Try placing cages in a variety of places. You can check the animals list on your iDroid to see which animals have been extracted.
Gab's doch irgend so einen Lockstift oder so ein Lockding zum Tiere anlocken. Auch hier. Das ist zwar nie, aber wenn sie haben und nicht brauchen das. Da, Lokflasche. Ah, sickt der. Jetzt reicht Geld nicht mehr. Naja, egal. Aber wir finden da so. Aha.
That's the target. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
So what were they doing at Nzoya Badia, Bulu? That facility with all the people laid out in rows?
The abandoned factory Shabani was held in. It is precisely as you guessed. Black Anna was coding languages into the vocal cord parasites. They infected the subjects with the parasites, then made an incision in the throat to expose the vocal cords. That allowed them to play recordings of the desired language directly to the parasites. And the parasites learned the language.
You gotta extract him?
That's some teaching method. I just don't get how a bunch of bugs had the brain power for it. They don't. Do not judge them by human standards. They do not learn as a function of intellect.
Then how do they do it?
What language the parasites react to is coded into their genes. You could expose the Japanese strain to English for years, and it would never learn the language and react to it. The pronunciation, rhythm, and structure are different. But what about, say, Spanish and Portuguese? Linguistically, the two are very close.
Yeah, they're both Ibero-Romance languages.
Even so, a Spanish language mating pair exposed to Portuguese will not copulate. Only when they hear Spanish. Only then. And the majority of their offspring will be the same.
So it's a literal case of a mother tongue. But if that's so, I don't see how the different strains can be created in the first place.
Well, among the many thousands of offspring, there may be just a few that react to Portuguese.
You're talking about mutations.
Correct. Playing the tapes helps to identify the mutant strains. Those specimens are then isolated and bred with one another. From their children, specimens that react most strongly to Portuguese can again be selected and bred. Repeating this process creates a strain that reacts solely to Portuguese and never to Spanish. Mutation and selection. No different to breeding roses.
So you kept increasing the change over the generations, adapting them to languages from all over the world. You must have taken a hell of a lot of patience.
More like patience. Just how many died for this?
There's something I still don't get. In order to tell which larvae will react to Portuguese, you'd have to let them develop and then see which copulate. That means you'd need tens of thousands of guinea pigs. There's no way you could do that in a facility that small.
For normal selective breeding methods, you would be right. But there is a more effective selection method when training the vocal cord parasites. Go on. It is not only when mating that the parasites listen for language. Shortly before hatching, larvae display markedly increased activity in reaction to particular language. The active eggs can be identified under a black light. So the eggs that react to Portuguese are selectively placed in the throats of subjects. So you see, narrowing down strains that react to the target language is an effective process. Though I'm sure that even so, many lost their lives to create the various strains. Taken against their will into that dungeon. There are two reasons for playing the tapes for the parasites. One, to isolate the eggs that respond to the target language. And two, to cause
That's the target.
raised from the selected eggs to mate.
I get how the system works. But why do they respond to language before they even hatch? It's not like they can mate from inside an egg.
It is because the larvae learn the language before hatching. You mentioned that what language the parasites respond to is hard-coded into their genes, and that they don't have the brain power to actually learn a language. But then you say that the larvae at Nzoya Badia Bulu were learning the languages in the egg. Your story doesn't add up. Your country is home to a unique songbird. The Japanese bush warbler.
Sure, what of it?
What a beautiful call it has. But no bush warbler can sing it perfectly at the start. As chicks, they can barely chirp at all. They must learn from their parents and other adult birds. Only then can they sing properly and attract females. So naturally, there are individual differences. Though they start on the same footing, each bird is influenced by its teachers.
And the parasites are the same?
Like the birds, the parasites have a genetic predisposition towards a particular language. But while in the egg, the larvae's ears are tweaked by listening to the voice of the host. This tweaking ensures that the grown parasites will react better to the host's speech pattern.
Why would they have an ability like that?
He's coming too. Roger that.
Regional differences within even the same language. Rare is the language that has no unique dialects. Yes, learning the host's speech pattern before hatching attunes the larvae to whatever twist of pronunciation it will encounter. This adaptive ability is what makes them so formidable.
I see. So a language requires selective breeding, but the parasites can learn dialects by themselves.
Of course, having the egg-stage larvae listen to the tapes in the factory was not meant to teach them. It was more important to use that trait of theirs to identify the mutated strains. As I mentioned earlier,
Is that really accurate enough to use as a weapon? You could wipe out a neighboring ethnic group by accident if their pronunciation is too close.
What you say is true. In that sense, they are imperfect as ethnic cleansers. But for his purpose,
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
his objective was not to exterminate any one ethnic group, but to render the world's lingua franca, English, inert.
Volgan, the GRU colonel, was burned alive with a Shagohod during Operation Snake Eater 20 years ago. Despite suffering severe burns to his entire body, he still clung to life. After you left Seleniarsk, Volgan's body was taken to a research institute in the outskirts of Moscow, but modern medicine couldn't explain why he was still alive. Not that the colonel was any ordinary man to begin with. That constant electric current he had running through his body that he could unleash at will. To be honest, I was always uncomfortable around him. Thought I might get electrocuted just by standing nearby. The institute studying him was tasked with investigating and developing human paranormal abilities. The comatose Volgan was used to further the Soviet Union's research into such abilities. But not long ago, the facility burned to the ground. And Volgan's body was never found among the rubble, even though the fire started in the room where they were keeping him. This occurred at around the same time you woke up. If Skullface was right, and a thirst for revenge can turn a man into a demon and keep the dead alive, then this man on fire who's been coming after us ever since you woke up, well, that just might be what's left of our old friend Volgan. It's not over yet. Back in '64, in Seleniarsk, you brought his plans for a utopia down in flames. That grudge is what's keeping him alive. The day the research facility holding Volgan burned down, a Soviet jumbo passenger jet happened to crash nearby, far away to the north of that hospital in Cyprus. On board the plane was a young boy who was being studied at the same facility. The plane fell to Earth from over 8,000 feet, but the boy's body was the only one not recovered. At almost exactly the same time as the crash, Volgan awoke in that facility. According to the Research Institute's documents, The gifts this boy demonstrated included psychokinesis and telepathy. To protect his mind from being inundated with other people's thoughts, he always wore a kind of gas mask. A rudimentary form of psychic insulation, apparently. We don't know where this boy is, but if Skullface is connected to him, we may cross paths with him yet. This boy is part of a new age, where nothing we understand about the world makes sense anymore. Don't let your guard down.
He's coming too. Roger that. That's the target. Roger.
captured it alive.
About those walker gears deployed by the CFA. It appears that it's not just the CFA. PFs all along the Angola-Zaire border are also getting equipped with them. The bipedal technology was developed.
Talk? Anything? Still living up to her name. How about you drop the act? Who infected you with a parasite? We can't let her talk. Put it back. All I want's a name. That won't trigger anything. Tell me. Tell me! Your lungs have been barbecued. There's traces of rubbing alcohol in your alveoli. This was found adhered to your lungs, intact. A petal. White Star of Bethlehem. The hospital. Skullface sent you to Cyprus to kill Snake. You were burned inside and out. That should have been the end of it. But, all things considered, you look pretty damn healthy to me. We have Skullface to thank for that, right?
I was the only one capable of applying them to parasite therapy. Until he stole them from me.
Why are you here? Did Skullface send you? Or did you have your own score to settle with the boss? Refreshing? Salt water.
No! She'll die.
His life isn't yours to take. Enough.
That's enough.
If she wanted to kill the boss, he'd already be dead. Same goes for us. She's had plenty of chances. She can talk. She's not here to kill anyone. We're wasting your time. It doesn't matter why she's here. She works for you now. She's in love with the legend.
What makes you so sure?
I was the same way once.
What if she's a spy?
What if I'm a spy? Are you? Go on all day.
Boss.
Let her go. She won't speak, so she can't spread the infection.
Nabegitin Tisch? Nicht nagetin Ti.
Oh.
Idiki plak anat e.
Oh. Ako kode jisdesni.
Dne bizad.
Belagana gesnita. Katobe yasteta. Asetota. Dodoにした。ドドにした。
Good dog.